Last week on Talk SA, we asked, do we read enough books as a nation? We went to the reopening of the Johannesburg Public Library, we met a bookseller who operates on the public road, and we hung out with a traveling library in Cape Town. Thank you for your post on our Facebook page, and remember, Mzansi, your comments help South Africa to keep talking. Today on Talk SA, we celebrate Africa and what it means to be an African living and working in South Africa.
It's a good life.
Welcome to Kota Restaurant.
What you get with the rice.
Kgotsong ke le amohela ho Talk SA. Africa Day ke letsatsi la ho keteka tswelopele le sohle seo sa Africa. Kajeno mo Talk SA re mona Yeoville ka hare ho Johannesburg. Yeoville ke lehae la ma-Africa a mangata a tswa kontinenteng ka bophara. Ba tlile mona ho etsa bophelo ka ho rekisa dijo, diaparo le ntho tse ding jwalo jwalo. Tulo ena e se e fetileng Africa e nyenyane.
Ngimo kuba ma-Africa ukubonisa ukuthi siyi-Rainbow Nation futhi sibambene nokuthi siyathandana siyazwana asifani namanye amazwe lapho kunama-wars khona futhi ukuthi sinothando sinobuntu futhi.
Yes, as an African from the same continent, we have to be united, having same opinion, same idea about our continent.
We are the first people on earth. Yeah, we own this world. We are the owners of the world.
Africa have to be proud of like the kind of freedom we have in Africa. You know, you free in your country, you free in your own background. Like the things you can do in your own country, we can do in other country. That's why I can say African, they'll be proud of what to do in their own town.
People here, they are nice. You know, they are not racist. There's no xenophobia.
No, because I mean, I'll share one thing. Kiwana was battling fella mo South African, and Rona kana kuela before nakuya apartheid. Aneria mafatsama, neria as refugees, not road ula fella mo. Never first space city, but bona ba fihla ba dula fella anyway mo baratante. And they are illegally in this country.
Well, so far I've been treated so fairly from what I heard when I was in Zambia, because I heard that in South Africa there are plenty of thugs here and there, but currently I haven't experienced anything. Just see it, just one African country.
Well, the thing I wish about gay rights is, well, they are here, so for to support them and accept them the way they are. So. Yes, there are some difficulties in Makaya. They wouldn't accept them, especially mostly people who are Christian, but it's their life, and if they want to change, the ball's in their court. So, yeah.
But I wouldn't go up north. I mean, it's a different kind of lifestyle. You know, it's not like here.
I get a problem in Afrika nie, want dit is die beste land wat ek so ver gekry het van ek was gebore.
You need to know me, tell me when is the Africa Day. I don't know when is that.
27 Zaga, April 2012.
That's Freedom Day.
Ngabua maka ntate ha ke tsebe. Yeah, ngabua maka ha ke tsebe ntate.
25 May.
No, then Africa Day is on the 1st of May 2012.
That's Workers' Day.
Ne, ha ke tsebe, ke utlwa ka wena.
Then I don't know when Africa Day is.
African culture itself is very much diverse compared to other nations. For instance, in Africa, I have opportunities to expand my business, because Africa is booming in terms of business. The people who are creative.
I mean, when I was in New York, I mean, when you go to a pub and you try and make a conversation with someone, no one talks to you. They're like, who you know? Yeah, I can walk in the street, I can say, that's my bro. What's up? Hey, what? No? That's what I like about Africa, and especially South Africa.
I'm an executive member of the African Diaspora Forum of ADF, and ADF is all about African migrants living in South Africa. And in 2008, we formed this organization called the African Diaspora Forum. It is a non-profit organization comprising with individuals and associations representing the African migrants, About 28 countries are in the organization here. And since 2008, we've been working together and doing everything with our people.
Awana rona as an organization, nerika try hore kopane batho, the South Africans, the Nigerians, Cameroonians, Congolese, Malawians, Mozambique. Understand that we celebrate kauri on that day. If it's Mozambique, o tla di dijo tsa hao tsa ko Mozambique. If it's Nigeria, o tla di dijo tsa hao da. If it's South Africa, o tla le tsa hao gona mo. Understand? Re bone gore ma South African a ka se di dijo tseo. A ka se re rate ntho tseo. Understand? And then re bone gore a re etsa jwalo ke change ke apare Nigerian. Understand? Keep it Nigerian for once. I mean, once a day you won't die. Understand? And really vibe because last year we tried to create something of that sort, but it was very exciting because up to now, local people, why? When are you doing that thing again? Understand that? But they didn't know it cost to make it happen.
Look, I mean, first of all, remember that Africa Day started in, I think, 1963 with the formation of the Organization of African Unity, which was formed by all the newly independent states that had thrown off the shackles of colonialism. So, and today, we're in a situation where probably the entire continent now is free of colonialism. I think there's one or two places of dispute on the continent still, but otherwise, you know, and so we are, I think we have to remember we're still celebrating that, and that's very important. But I think also, you know, celebrating, you can both commemorate and celebrate at the same time, and I think that Africa Day can be used as a way of also grappling with the exact challenges you're talking about. It can provide a platform for engaging around those challenges and talking about them and trying to find solutions. That's in fact what we did when we did our first Africa Day event in 2010. We didn't just have a street party. There was a seminar that happened, there were movies that were showing, and it was all around the idea of Africa and what it is, good and bad, and what it could be in the future. And I think that's, so definitely, yes. I mean, if we didn't celebrate Africa Day, I think we'd be actually losing an opportunity to do those kinds of things.
First of all, I'm happy of who I am, and I'm happy as an African, and I'm proud to be an African, and I'm proud of my color.
We are Africans. Re ka se change. Understand? Mara ka Africa Day, re batla o ya ko Europe, re batla o ba ke ma European, you understand? And it's not nice while we still have challenges. We must make these Africans that are coming here to South Africa feel welcome and give them the platform. For Africa Day, they must celebrate wherever they want to celebrate. Restrictions, it's our, you know, Africa Day, why you appear so, why, you know, yeah, people must feel free.
Re batlile batho bao e seng ma-Afrika empa ba dutse naheng ena ya Afrika Borwa. Bodolo ba bona mona Afrika le seo ba se ratileng kontinenteng ena entle ya ditso tse fapaneng. Africans can leave their continent in order to start a new life in first world countries. But here, we've got people from first world countries making a home and coming to work right here on our continent. And the question is, could they bring anything to their newly found home? After the break, we're going to be talking to a Filipino and an American who have settled in our beautiful country.
I think I stay here in South Africa. I like the country, the sun.
No, I love it in South Africa. It's just, it's different. It's a good life.
Afrika e lahlehelwa ke basebetsi ba hlohla ho mafatshe a etetseng pele. Empa hona le bao ba tlohetse mafatshe ao a bona ho tlisa bokgoni ba bona mona Afrika. Re rata ho tseba gore letsatsi la Africa Day le bolelang ho bona ka ha e se e le lehae la bona.
What initially attracted you to South Africa and to Africa to come and settle here?
When I first came here in 1975, which feels like a long time ago, that was because I was assigned here. I'd never been to Africa. I'd spent my previous time overseas in Southeast Asia. And they said, this is where you're going next. And so that sends you off to the library very quickly, learn about the place, learn about the people, learn about the circumstances. And of course, in the middle 1970s, there was one very large political issue that needed to be understood. And I got here and I fell in love with the place in spite of the circumstances, met my wife, and of course at that point we couldn't get married here. We got married in Swaziland. So now that was my second African country. So then we came back to South Africa a total of 3 times, and then also an assignment in Swaziland. So when I was about to retire in 2003, my wife said, look, I've traveled around the world with you. Now that you're retiring, I'm staying here. What exactly are you planning to do? These are both the 2 daughters. This is the older one when she was really young, and this is the younger one when she was just about the same age. The older one was born in Singapore, and the younger one was born in Japan. They're carving out their careers as musician and artist, respectively.
Other than your lovely wife, what do you love the most about Africa?
First of all, we're sitting on my back porch, okay, and the sun is streaming in, and it's a wonderful. The country has some of the greatest weather in the world. The intellectual ferment in the country is interesting. We're involved in the arts a lot. I work with the Market Theater on a lot of different things, and so we get to go to all kinds of contemporary and classic and traditional dance, and we do theater, and we go to art galleries and openings, and we read the novels and the short stories that are produced here, and we go to local films, and I find all of that enormously enriching and entertaining. And I don't like everything I see, but I find everything that I go to be interesting. I mean, Africans in that sense have to speak with a stronger, louder, more confident voice, perhaps, to other parts of the world.
While in Cape Town, we interviewed some interesting people who left their countries to make South Africa whole.
Well, growing up, I'm second generation American, which means my parents were the first ones coming over. My father was born in Japan, moved to the States for university, and ended up sticking around, got a job as a professor, and now he's in the educational system. My mother's from the Netherlands. She also came over in her early 20s, met my father in Washington, D.C. So I kind of grew up with a bit of an international background, but in a small town in the U.S.
The best thing in South Africa, I think it's definitely the sun. You have 300 days sunshine, and I think that's, and the climate, it's so pleasant. I mean, if I compare to Durban, it's then more humid, and other places even more. Now, I think especially here in the Cape area, it's the sun and the weather, it's so pleasant.
And to me, South Africa it made sense because, you know, I was new to the game. You know, I was doing my first project, director of a nonprofit at age 26, and I wasn't trying to go somewhere where I'd really have to kind of fend for myself. South Africa had an infrastructure in place. You know, it was going to be an easier transition for me as a beginner to the development game, and also language issues. It was a bit easier. So I felt that I should kind of take an approach where there's some place that has the background and the infrastructure in place where I can kind of move in and hit the ground running.
We'll probably stay in South Africa. If I go somewhere else, it would be probably some other place in Africa.
I'm studying in Stellenbosch engineering, and I mean, I love it in South Africa. It's just It's different. It's a good life.
I think I stay here in South Africa. I like the country, the sun. We are already 14 years here. We established, we have the friends and all that thing.
At the end of the day, you always look back to South Africa and you miss it. Because you only notice it once you're overseas and you're there for like a month. You miss South Africa. From weather-wise, people-wise, just it's such a multicultural and enjoyable land.
After the break on Talk SA, we are at Pata Pata in Newtown, a unique restaurant introducing West African cuisine to local South Africans.
Now I'm a big fan of West African food. Kirata, the way, for example, basabedisa cassava. The cassava basabedisa from the root.
Welcome to Pata Pata restaurant.
Naki ngwana o godileng mo continent. Tsamaile mona le melintate hanik na le 10 years. So nekile koskolongo what was Rhodesia, Raya up Africa, Rafitako Congo, Nigeria, settled found in Sierra Leone. And melintate neli the teacher, both of them. Professor Mtate and med teacher. And so Kiferitse High School go Sierra Leone. So ki khudile ka impression ya Pan-Africanism. And as an artist, music, culture, and totse nedi dulalina. But because we are such an incredibly beautiful people, you know, we have a lot of love, you know. That's why but sometimes we are dumb. We are not dumb. It's just that we have this love and energy that we are always ready to forgive, to do that. That's what I love about Africa. You know, even more South Africa history in Nalinyona. We are still loving. We have, like I said, Nalibatoba song from everywhere, Bamo, you know. And Harry, the more we travel our more continent, Yaron, we will be shocked at what an incredible people we have, even poverty and all. Africa. There's love, there's a smile, you know. Personally, now I'm a big fan of West African food, in the sense, Yahori, Kirata, the way, for example, basabedisa cassava. The cassava basabedisa from the root to the leaf. So baja, the whole vegetable.
The cassava leaves, it's cooked in palm oil, nuts, salt, tomato, onion, all the ingredients we put in. And it must be cooked for 2 hours, that it must be soft and tender.
Kirata oil basabedisan palm oil, ready. And saying kadi kernel star palm trees. That are natural. For example, most South Africa, India a lot. Lidi spice study to Ancontre. Marco, West Africa, but the spice samo. Manali in Tosaringat, it's about Senya, Modi sauce and someone that's different. Ratang. And this is what it looks like when it's palm oil. Yeah, when it's pounded and it's the oil. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Right now, most South Africa, we are going further and further from African foods, from the way we used to eat. We are becoming more and more into industrial food. That's in other parts of Africa, is that Batobaja and still in Samoa. That's what I would really love to see. Moharonamo. How does it look as you look in it? Does it look all right?
Yes. This is oxtail. What we are trying to do also with health organic food, and we are going to mix it up with African continental food.
So once re ka etsa eo hantle, it's easier than re go East Africa yaanong re o bua le bona, re go West Africa ko ECOWAS, re bua le bona, and maybe eventually re tla bona Africa unite. Re tla bona eo. Ke my dream and my reason for celebrating Africa Day.
For me, it's to be proud that we are all the same. There is no white, there is no black in the eyes of God, and we need to stick together as a team to introduce other meals to other people that they must know it. If I go to Europe, I ask for dombolo, they need to give me.
Yeah, I'm proud to be an African, so I know that African, you believe for who you are.
What makes me proud to be a South African? It's lots of things. Playing soccer, this, and that. But especially drawing.
I intend to be South African. South Africa is cool.
Se se nkgatlang ke le motho o montsho ke gore ke tsaletswe mo Africa, and then ke motlotlo thata ha ke le mo Africa because lefatshe la Africa ke lefatshe le leng gore le bane le nna sentle, ke lefatshe la mashi le dinotsi, ke lefatshe le nang le diphologolo, ke lefatshe le nang le dithaba, ke lefatshe le nang le dinoka, ke lefatshe le ntle tota le leng gore ha ke le mo Africa ke ikutlwa ke le motlotlo thata gore ke be ke le motho o montsho.
Gonna mo South Africa re pila ka gore re na le dilo tse di etsang culture rona re pila ka yone because of gona le dithaba di tsa Setswana, everything tse re se tlhokang se teng for South Africa. Re na le di animals le dilo tse dintsi for South Africa tse leng gore re tsa Setswana.
Gonna rona ba bone re pila ka ngwa ya rona setso sa rona.
Setswana sa rona le moaparo wa rona.
Your nation builders for the week this week are the Refugee Help Desk in Newtown, Maora, and the foreigners who've made South Africa their home. Keep talking, South Africa. Next week on Talk SA, we are in Bloemhof, a small town in the Northwest Province. If you happen to be driving between Kimberley and Potchefstroom, you might pass it in the blink of an eye, so keep your eyes peeled. On this day in history, the Organization of African Union was formed, today only known as AU. The main administrative capital of the African Union is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where the African Union Commission is headquartered. The AU's first military intervention in a member state was in May 2003 in Burundi.